Hello YouTube, Dave here again. Welcome back to another Miniatures Monday. I'm recording this on, well, the same day it's going to be uploaded, which is February 23rd, 2026. And at the time that I'm recording this, we are about to experience, or we're supposed to be experiencing, a pretty heavy snowstorm. So I want to get a couple videos recorded and hopefully uploaded before any potential power outages. If we have any, hopefully we don't, but you just never know when it comes to this winter and when it comes to Nova Scotia Power. But anyway, today we're going to be opening up two packages of minis, both for the Wild Beyond the Witchlight adventure that came out a few years ago. We're going to be taking a look at Valor's Call as well as the League of Malevolence. So I think there was a sale recently on WizKid's website. I don't remember how much it was. It was like 10 or 15% off, or it might have been 20% off. I can't remember exactly how much. But they still had these in stock. And years ago, I bought a copy of the League of Malevolence starter set, which is up on my wall. I wanted to keep it sealed, but the prices were pretty decent. So I bought another one here to open up, and I bought two copies of Valor's Call, one to just have on the wall on display, and then the other to open up and actually be able to use the miniatures. The Wild Beyond the Witchlight was an interesting adventure. It was basically it was the Alice in Wonderland style adventure that Wizards of the Coast had been talking about wanting to release for quite some time. So they finally kind of got their like crazy Feywild trippy adventure that they put out. But there were some elements of it that I really kind of popped over. And one of the big ones was the inclusion of like the, callbacks to the D&D cartoon series, which I absolutely loved, and the LJN toy line from the 1980s. Which is what we have here in the form of Valor's Call and the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. I don't think every single one of these figures or minis got like an actual action figure back in the day. I really only know of, like a few of the characters from back then because I never had the toy line. And trying to collect like those vintage toys nowadays, because I would want them on card and everything like that, it's just ridiculously expensive, but I can at least have the miniatures here. And this one, of course, I loved this one, and the reason I solely picked it up was because it has a Warduke on there. And I do apologize to, anybody watching here, to basically just the way that my room was rearranged. In order to get like decent lighting, I have to have the overhead lights on, but that creates shadows, so I also had to turn my camera light on from my phone. So you might see that a little bit here, but it's just to basically prevent there being a great big shadow of my phone and stuff right there. So anyway, we're going to go ahead. We're going to open up the Valor's Call first, and then we're going to open up the League of Malevolence. And I got a little bonus thing at the end of this video as well. So like I said, these were about $20 online, US dollars. And I think they ended up being like around 15 each. So they had some sort of sale on at the time that I ordered these. It took a while to get here. And, interesting, funny story. Whenever I have an item that's being tracked or has a tracking information, I bookmark it on my email, and like I star it or mark it as important, and I check the information. And I was checking on Saturday because it had stated that like the minis or the package had been with a courier for a couple of days now, so I was expecting it to go out for delivery on the weekend. And I clicked on the thing, it said delivery complete. I clicked on the thing to show proof of delivery, went outside and nothing was there. And we live in a pretty like safe, area, nice subdivision, so like it felt really out of place for something to be stolen. But it freaked me out, and I was like looking, and I was getting kind of upset, and I went back. It's like, well, let me check this one more time to be sure. And as it turns out, about 2 emails down, I had another older WizKids thing that I highlighted, and that had like the beholders there, the potato head beholders. And it turns out I had clicked on that one without realizing it, and that's the one that was delivered. So these came the next day, and everything was perfectly fine. But yeah, that just that freaked both of my wife and I out a little bit there, because like stuff like that doesn't really happen we are. Not too far from where we are, but not really in this area. So I was glad that it wasn't actually stolen. So here are the Valor's Call minis. So again, we got a great big area here for the packaging. Would have been kind of nice if they could have included some other minis in there, even if they were covered over. But still, we'll go through and take a look and kind of see who we've got here. Because again, I'm not as familiar. So this is Malevolence. Oh, and if you heard the door, that's probably my wife taking her puppy out for a pee. Up next, we've got Mercicon. Their shield and, you know, the really floppy, sort of flaccid staff there, but that's okay. And then we've got this guy. This guy, I'm trying to remember his name. Because I'm pretty sure he had a figure. Looks like Ringle Run, so maybe, I don't know if he did or not, but if I mean, I know WizKids doesn't care about videos that I produce, but if you guys are watching black plastic bases with the white lettering would be fantastic to go back to. Or a clear plastic base with black lettering would also be fine, because it's really hard to read some of these guys, especially where this guy's got like a white robe and the white beard. But you know, again, the staff is a little bit wonky, but that can be fixed. Again, it'd probably be, that's okay. So that's glued down there. So anyway, but still, we got the what did I say his name was? Ringle Run. And then these two I do know. So this is Elkhorn the Dwarf. Just got weapons all over the place. And his shield. And then, of course, we've got the most well-known character. Whoop, and he went flying. We've got Strongheart, the good fighter. So Strongheart. So yeah, so these were the the 1980s LJN toys, and I know for sure that these two had figures. I'm pretty sure he had one as well. I'm not too sure about the others. They've also made appearances in other things like the Shady Dragon Inn, which had like the an inn that you could use in your games, as well as a whole bunch of like pre-made characters and NPCs, which did include these guys and did include the League of Malevolence. I also have ordered the Quest for the Heartstone, so that was D&D module, what was it, like XL1 or something like that, and it also features like the characters from like the League of Malevolence and the Valor's Call, so you can play like pre-gen characters, you can play like Strongheart and go up against the bad guys, or you know, things like that. So it's really cool to finally have these guys in miniature form. And again, they're not terrible. The paint jobs, they are fairly basic. Which when you're buying a set of pre-painted minis, you kind of want a little bit more out of them, I'm not going to lie. These feel like they're the same kind of quality for if they had these available in like the blind boxes, which I don't think they were. I don't think they were part of the Wild Beyond the Witchlight minis line. I think you had to buy them separately. But the paint jobs are fairly basic, so for the sale price that I paid for, and just to say I finally have these guys, it's fine. But like, for example, the sides of his helmet, of Strongheart's helmet there, on the sides of his face should be painted silver. So it kind of looks like he's got like a square face that's kind of melty a little bit on the sides of his jawline there. But overall, again, pretty cool to have. Like I said, it's just neat to have like these iconic characters from that toy line, and characters that have appeared in a few modules. And I know Strongheart Kellic and Warduke appeared in the 80s cartoon show. So it's like, there's the reason that I kind of know them the most. But yeah, really cool, kind of cool to see. And now we've got the League of Malevolence. So let's go ahead and get this one open. Not particularly worried about saving the packaging or anything, because I've already got sealed copies. This stuff will just be going in the garbage. But that came off fairly easily. Alright, so you know we're going to be saving the best for last, but let's take a look and see kind of what we got here. So these are our League characters. And I think we got 2 spellcasters. But we'll start with this fella here. And he is in there. Alright, so this is what, Zarek? Yeah. So this is Zarek. He is an assassin. And again, they kind of got like that coloration that they would have had from the toy line. I don't know if the assassin was ever made into an actual figure, though, back in the day, because having him be an assassin might be a little controversial, although then again, back, in the 80s and 90s, they had lots of toy lines for like R-rated stuff. I've got Aliens figures, there was Terminator, Rambo, RoboCop, all that stuff. I guess they just knew back then kids were going to be watching. Let's take a look at who we got here next. So this is Skylla? S-K-Y-L-L-A. So yeah, Skylla. And I think she's a necromancer specifically, but I'm not 100%. Got like the skull helmet on. So that's pretty cool. Then we got this fella here who I think is an evil priest. And the other thing about like the Valor's Call and the League of Malevolence characters is they were tied to like the basic expert D&D line. And that version of the game only had like lawful, law and chaos as its alignment. So it was like you were lawful, you were chaotic, or you were neutral. So like these guys being like, Strongheart being a good fighter, right, was like something that set him apart. Or like, Kellic being an evil wizard or evil magic user was just something sort of to distinguish them. But this is Zargash. And like I said, I'm pretty sure he's a priest. So really cool there. And then we've got Kellic, whom I do have in t-shirt form. I would love to find a Warduke shirt. But this is Kellic. He is the evil wizard. I think overall the paint jobs on the evil characters seem to be better than the ones for the Valor's Call. Although the Elkhorn dwarf, the good dwarf mini, he looks pretty good. But yeah, I got the purple on the inside of the cape there. The fire. That is really, really cool. And of course, like I said, saving the best for last, we've got Warduke. Now, Warduke is one of my all-time favorite, like, villainous characters. A few years ago, I did, like, a villain showcase on him. And I'm going to do another, like, updated version. Like, I wanted to take a look at some of the minis that I had for, like, the villainous characters, some of the evil, like, named characters. And I don't have a ton, but I do have a few. So it'd be kind of cool to look over them and sort of see, like, how they've been depicted in some of the various editions of D&D. So we got Warduke here, and he looks pretty cool. I like, the shield is awesome. The red eyes. It's a little harder to get this one to focus because he's got that sword in the way there. I like his red eyes, the sword pointing up. It's a really cool looking mini. Of course, the ceremonial armor that covers like nothing there. But yeah, so I want to do an updated version when I get the quest for the Heartstone in, because I can look at his stats in Shady Dragon Inn, Quest for the Heartstone, the Dungeon magazine that he appeared in, as well as the Wall Beyond the Witchlight, to kind of just see how he's like changed in stats over the years. So it'd be kind of cool to do that. And I do have a few other Warduke related items that I'd be able to show off as well. So we got the mini there. And just for comparison purposes, let's compare him to the 3.0, or 3.5, sorry, D&D Minis game. So this one came out in 2005, and you see how easy it is to read, even though that's all black on black, because it's actually like engraved or embossed. I don't know how, like, because the mold, I guess, would have been engraved into the mold. Do you see how clear that is to read versus, like, trying to get that there? Actually, that's not too bad. But here we got, again, like, the red eyes and the red eyes. I think he's a little beefier in the 3rd edition mini, although his sword has a little bit more detail in the newer one. The shield, a little more menacing on the 3rd edition D&D Minis one, but overall pretty awesome nonetheless to have those Warduke minis, the League of Malevolence, and of course the good guys to counterbalance them with Valor's Call. So thank you all so very much for your time. I appreciate it. It's nice to be, like I said, getting back into the swing of recording videos, and yeah, I'm looking forward. I picked up a few other miniature things that'll fuel Miniature Mondays for the next few weeks, and like I said, hopefully we'll get through the storm relatively unscathed, and I'll be able to get some stuff uploaded. But anyway, thank you all so very much for your time. I appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.